Hi, I'm Milton Ali.
And I'm Hampton Scurlock.
And welcome to the Investor Tribe podcast. Today, we're going to talk about why should you invest in real estate? Now?
Or anytime.
Yeah, let's go. And so investing in real estate is a smart move for many reasons, especially in the current market environment. And so here are some reasons why you should invest in real estate. The first reason that I have, and then maybe you can share another couple reasons. I have several. I have about 10, but I don't think we have enough time for 10.
Let's try to stick with 5 or so.
Try to stick 5. Okay, I definitely appreciate that. And so one of the main reasons is rising rental demand. What are your thoughts on that?
At least in our market, it seems to be a lot of the trend nationwide is people need a place to live.
Yeah.
Rents are going up. Profits are going up for a lot of landlords. It could be a very good investment. Typically, mortgages stay fixed. Some people have adjustable rates, but as rents go up, landlords are realizing bigger profits. And there's a squeeze. It's tough for good tenants, good people to find homes, and they're willing to pay, to get that now. They need to, because there's not a huge supply of it. So it's a big issue in the United States.
And in Louisville, Kentucky, where we are, it is been stated that we are down well over 30,000 homes, 30,000 units, 30,000 doors. And the lack of inventory is increasing demand every single day. And so with that, I think that there is going to be a rising in rents. Now, they could rise and slow, depend on demand all the time. However, there is a lot of opportunities with purchasing a home and then renting it out. The second reason that I have is the appreciation potential. And what are your thoughts on how? Well, let's talk about that for a second. So I'm gonna have you respond to that. There's 4 ways that we make money in real estate. 4 ways. The first way that we make money is through appreciation. That the average home in America appreciates at 4% a year, right? The second way that we make money is by principal pay down every month. When you are paying the principal, whether it's you or whether it's someone else through rentals, your principal goes down. The balance between what is the appreciable value of your home and the principal that you owe is called equity. And that's another way you make money. The third way you make money through real estate is through your tax savings. Your ability to, there is a lot of tax savings that are associated with real estate. And the fourth way that you make money in real estate is through cash flow. When you have a principal that you pay every month, and then someone else pays above that through a rent, what's the difference is your cash flow, to put it very simple. Do you think there's 4, or could there be 5 or 6?
There could be other ways as well. There's creative financing. You can do lease options. You can collect option fees. You may have other ancillary products in addition to rent, that you rent out parts of your property or subdivide it. And so it could be, selling off part of a house you got that had an extra lot with it. So there's different ways to create money. It's one of the beautiful things about real estate, but I really appreciate the appreciation. I'm very appreciative of that appreciation. It's great. And
I'm sure you do.
I'm appreciative of that appreciation.
Fair enough.
I've had it happen recently. Bought a house, from a wholesaler, $83,000. I was a little hesitant to pay $85,000, so it felt good at the time. Got them down $2,000 because the house needed a little work. And ran comps recently, and the house is worth close to $300,000. So there's a lot of gains, a lot of growth, and all I do is buy the house and let the tenant make payments for quite a while. So you get a few of those houses, you can be talking real money and on your way to being a millionaire, on your way to financial freedom, pretty quick. So the cash flow helps. That's nice month to month and such. But that appreciation over the long term, that's one of the ways, Andrew Carnegie said, 90% of America's millionaires are made by real estate. And I've seen that when I used to do people's taxes. All the people that had money and were living the life and were millionaires, they had a business or real estate.
So I bought a house from you. Full disclosure, we've done business together. And so I bought a house for you. I believe it was 82. No, it was 86,000, and we sold it for 200,000.
Nice.
So what we did was we forced the appreciation. So there is a way that so you appreciate the appreciation, and sometimes you have to force that appreciation, right? Through renovation, through improvement. And you may have to augment the house. And so for people watching, with that, adding something to the home, an additional bathroom or an additional bedroom, or just making the house different. As a agent, I'm always telling or encouraging my investors to, if the MLS listing said it was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, then let's find a way to make it a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. And so I always want to change the MLS listing, the multiple listing service listing dynamic. So that's how I force the appreciation.
And how much more does a 4-bedroom rent for, say, versus a 3-bedroom?
Yes. And so that's a multiple. When you're talking about, let's, just making numbers even, if you're getting $900 for a 3-bedroom, you may be able to get $1,100 for, or even more for a 4-bed.
And that sounds low in today's market, but different markets may be different. But
that's correct.
That is the way to boost that value up and boost that revenue up if you're going to hold that property. So you're increasing your cash flow.
Or if you're going to flip the house, right? Or if you're going to flip the house, you just went from, say, let's just say $150,000 to maybe $170,000 when it comes to that. And so one of the ways that we're able to, can you discuss some of the tax benefits that are present with real estate?
I can. Full disclosure, I'm retired. I look like I'm retired, don't I?
Yes, you do look. Yes.
But, I used to prepare people's taxes and was a certified financial planner, and we help people with their tax strategies. And that's one of the beautiful things about real estate is, you buy a piece of property, and let's say it's a $110,000 property. You have to back out the land. You can't really depreciate the land, but that structure, if it's a $100,000 structure, you can depreciate that over 27 and a half years if just using something called straight line depreciation. So about $4,000 a year you get to write off on your taxes. So in reality, those houses we're talking about that are going up in value, in reality,
right,
for tax purposes, they're going down, and you're getting a $4,000 write-off on something that's gaining value generally every year. Sometimes quite a bit of value. Sometimes it goes down a little bit with the markets. But all of a sudden, you've got good write-offs and depreciation. You can write off on your taxes will offset your other rental income. And if there's ways to use retirement accounts and other things we're probably not going to get into today, but for the general investor, those tax write-offs are quite a bit, and they can offset your earned income if you've got a W-2 job.
Right. And for the kids at home, we want to encourage everyone to consult their own accountant, to consult their own tax professional. Don't take our word.
Right. Those numbers are just illustrative
purposes only, right?
And then commercial properties are and you need to
own more than one property. Whatever your tax situation is just depending on where your tax situation is. And so one of the things is that it's an inflation hedge as well.
Yes.
And what I love about that is when you're able to when you have a property and you have a locked-in rate and a locked-in mortgage, that's the reason why even in good times and in not so good times, it's always a good time to purchase the right piece of real estate.
And I don't know how many times I've heard it, especially from the older investors. They say, you ask them, when's the best time to buy real estate? And they say now. And I've heard several of them use this phrase. They say, don't wait to buy real estate.
Buy real estate and wait.
Exactly.
And so that is, I love that. And even as inflation goes up at roughly 2 to 3% a year, and as a hedge, you're able to lock in your rate. And also you can see your rent go up every couple of years. And so as an agent, I encourage all my investors to sign 2-year agreements, to 2-year leases. Everyone has their own different, approach to it, but I encourage 2-year leases. And what that does is you're able to at least have a level of predictability within the lease. When you lock that in, you now know for the least next couple of years, I know it's going to be X amount of dollars coming in.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful thing. And then for so long, that rent comes in, and at some point you may have that property paid off, or you sell another property and you get a lump sum of money. So that's the best kind of property, one that's paid off. So
yes.
Once you own it so long, you lose some of the tax breaks. I talked about if you own it 27 and a half years, you may use that for appreciation. And we'll talk about in future episodes, 1031 exchanges, and when you're reinvesting in real estate or using retirement accounts. But it's a kind of a gift that keeps giving in so many ways. You talk about the different ways that, inflation hedge, you get the cash flow, you get appreciation, you get depreciation, the tax benefits. There's, some cases down the road, I've known people that converted rental properties to their home. So because they got a change in lifestyle or change in family status, or, something that's happened. They had a bigger house, they had a smaller house, and they don't want to go out and buy one today at $300,000 prices. They've got a rental house 2 blocks over they paid $30,000 for 10 years ago. And when that tenant's rents up, they may convert that house, and now it's their primary residence.
So what I want to discuss now is we can use real estate as leverage. We use real estate as leverage, and I see you over there just excited. It's like you're a bust out your shirt, man.
I had to work it out a little bit.
See, there you go. And so there's a lot of leverage opportunities, right? To be able to use these assets to be able to purchase even more assets. Can you speak to?
Yes. And it's something when I first started, I knew of leverage. I'd seen a few people get in trouble with it when they're over leveraged or irresponsible leverage.
Right.
And so when I started, I just scraped together all the nickels I could from the couch cushions and retirement savings, and bought a couple cheap houses. So my friend called them pocket change houses. Because I've got my pocket change, I could buy that house. So they were $5,000 each, but they were paid for. They didn't take much to get ready to rent, and then they cash flow like crazy because there wasn't a payment on. There were 2 houses side by side, and the returns were astronomical. 100+% ROI. So I was getting all my money back
every month.
And it was 2007. That was my absolute first properties, but when I got serious about real estate, I took a long, hard look at a lot of my clients' tax returns, and then the ones that were taking vacations and had shirts on like this and taking cruises and living the good life, that had that were millionaires, all had real estate, and I just need to do what they're doing. I don't have much control of this. You don't have control of the stock market. You can pick winners, you can pick losers, but real estate, you seem to have a lot more control. You can't control the real estate markets, but you control what you're buying, you control some of your costs on when you're fixing it up, and the amount of returns you can get if you know what you're doing, or you get better. And there's mistakes that are going to be made, and we'll talk about that in one of our podcasts.
Yes. We have a whole pod just about the mistakes.
Yeah. And it helps to learn from other people's mistakes, so we're willing to help you out and tell you what we did wrong, or what we've heard other people do wrong as well. We've learned from other people's mistakes, and we're all stronger together. And it's a lot more comforting and easier to learn from someone else's mistake, and when they write the check, and you can just learn about it and avoid those pitfalls. That helps quite a bit.
Yes, and also it provides a stable income stream.
it does in the leverage. You can go out and acquire more property. So kind of getting back to the leverage thing.
Right.
I wasn't a fan when I started, and I avoided it just because I'd see people get in trouble and get the foreclosure. They bought a property way up here with a 100% loan, and back then they had some of these no income, no job ninja loans. They're giving money to anybody with a pulse. You could fog a mirror, you were getting a loan, and prices were high, and anybody could buy. And then they started coming down. And that's when I started picking them up when the market was down and everybody was selling. And, Warren Buffett said, when others are fearful, be green, be
fearful. Yes.
Everybody was fearful. And I just backed up the truck and tried to buy anything I could in 07, 08. Not all of them were $5,000 or so, but some of them were less, some of them were more. But I could have acquired more properties and grown at a faster rate had I used any leverage initially. But I want people to use, responsible leverage. Don't get over leveraged and plan for those contingencies. Plan for the occasional tenant that doesn't pay, the water heater that goes out, a roof that starts leaking. Don't go spend all of your. You need to keep some money in reserves.
I tell everyone that the first couple of years, you're not really making any money off your real estate, mainly because you're taking any cash flow and you're creating some reserves. And you have to have some reserves already, but let's create some reserves to let's add to those reserves for the water heater, because first year sometimes things don't happen. They do happen year two, whether it's because people are using homes now. They're using their home. It's every day. They're using they're using a lot. So I think it's pretty cool that we can talk about the stable income stream, but you got to make sure that
you got a rainy day fund.
Yeah, you got a rainy day fund to kind of take care of that. And so I really like that we're able to discuss all these reasons to purchase real estate. And when you're thinking about purchasing real estate and the fact that it's always a good time, I love the fact that not only do you have way more control than you would in the stock market, that you have intelligence that you wouldn't have by networking, joining your local RIA, by joining Investor Tribe, right? Where you can learn how to invest in real estate and get some help. But also learning a lot about the process and you also, I can tell you about a cool property that's on the market and it's not insider trading.
Right.
I can say, hey man, hey, 123 Main Street. I think I know the seller. I can go ahead and maybe make an introduction. Right. So there are some things that I do follow as an agent. So I want to be clear about that. At the same time, we can have a relationship that allows us to, make money and build a portfolio.
And hopefully multi-generational wealth. For us and others, we're helping this.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And so I own a couple properties and so there is, and we're also going to talk about how to landlord. I think there's going to be, a lot of opportunities, and we're having a conversation about landlording. I mean, there's a lot of conversations that are going to be on different podcasts that you're going to see here with us. However, anything that you would like to, kind of close us out with?
The one thing we didn't talk about too much is, and we're not investment advisors or giving financial advice.
That's correct.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. And we used to say, you consult the professional before you make such.
We do want you to try this at home, though.
Yes.
So you do try this at home. However, hire professionals and hire some people that can that like and trust, that can advise you. You can reach out to us. The link is in the description. You can reach out to us. We'll be glad to sit down with you and formulate a plan.
And then kind of going back to the investment thing, one thing we didn't talk about was diversification.
Yes.
And I came from the financial background, And initially, I kept some things in the market and was, getting into real estate initially and wanted to keep things diversified. Then I came across, a couple, mentors eventually once I got going. When I started, I didn't have a full plan and just kind of jumped into it because I knew I needed to get into real estate.
Right.
We'll talk about that, more later. Some people know my story already, but the diversification, I came across an old time investor, and I asked him, what are you diversify? He goes, oh yeah, I got big houses, I got little houses, I got cheap houses, I got expensive, I got houses over here, I got houses over there, I got houses everywhere.
Right.
I was like, well, is there anything else? He goes, what else do you need? And I'm not saying this to take that approach, but as time went on, I realized what he was saying, because sometimes you buy houses in certain areas and they become gentrified, or the appreciation shoots up through the roof because there's a stadium that goes in nearby, or something happens, and all of a sudden that $25,000 house is $250,000, and you've got a portfolio. You just have a couple houses you diversified into that area. You've won the lottery. You've hit a little gold mine there. If you want to sell it,
yes.
If you sell it, you lose the cash flow. But maybe you sell that one and you go buy 5 more in another part of town you're feeling good about, or you want for the cash flow. So sometimes people are investing for appreciation. Sometimes they're investing for the cash flow. Sometimes it's a matter of both. Sometimes they're investing for other reasons, but appreciation and cash flow is 2 of the main reasons. But that old timer taught me a lot, that day, and I lived it a few years later as some of these houses really, went up in value. That diversification isn't necessarily having, a full blown portfolio, 1% here, 1% there. You may be more weighted in one sector, one area than the other, especially if you've got, skills or technology that helps you. And I know Elon Musk and other people have said diversification is for fools, because if you know what you're doing, stick with that one thing. But, we're not here saying stick with one thing or put all your eggs in one basket or bet it all on red at the blackjack table. We're saying if you're smart, be smart with your money, use leverage responsibly, and you can be well on your way to financial freedom with a series of good financial decisions. That's all it takes.
Yes. And so also by diversification, what I think about is I encourage all of my investors to purchase single family homes first. Okay. You can jump into multifamily homes and multiple doors. And it seems that there is 2 schools or multiple schools of thought about owning as many doors as possible, or purchasing as many doors as possible, because so the theory is that if I purchase a multifamily and I have one tenant that doesn't pay, I still have a tenant that's paying and I'm still cash flowing. And what I tend to help a lot of my students that go to my Flip Savvy courses, or the investors that me and you sit down with, we have conversations about, let's own your first, second, and third single family properties. Why? Because with one house, you're going to learn how to take care of that home. And from a capital standpoint, you're able to buy that first property, own it, learn how to take care of it, learn the process, go through the process, and take care of the tenant, vet the tenant, take care of the tenant, and build that partnership where now you have that one property. Also, single family properties are easier to get out of. If there's something that goes awry, we can put something right on the market, and that single family is going to sell relatively quick
To a wider audience.
Than say a multifamily. Now, once you have the talent, once you have the experience, and once you know what you're doing, then let's go after, and you own a couple of single family homes, or 2 or 3 or 4 single family homes. Let's go after the multifamily. Let's get a multifamily. Why? Because you now have talent. You have enough talent.
Built a team.
You built a team, and now you're able to take care of the multiple doors. So you own a 4-plex, but you own 4 other properties. Now you have 8 doors. And I do think that you're now able to take care of 8 doors now. You have a team.
And you may, if you want to live in your unit, you may be able to house hack up to 4 units with the FHA loan, which was something we may talk about in a future podcast, or maybe we'll interview somebody that's done house hacking. So I kind of did it before it was a term, but it was with roommates and such. It wasn't a multiple unit type of situation, but it's a great way. There are a lot of investors utilizing that strategy to get started or be a springboard into their investing careers.
See, I love that. That we're able to build slowly. Scott Galloway talks about real estate empires are built slow. Anyone who builds their real estate empire with, that goes from 0 to 18 doors within 18 months, you haven't had the time to build your team. There is a lot, unless you're already experienced, it is very difficult to take that on to manage.
Or a knowledgeable partner or a mentor.
Someone who to really hold your hand and really help you. And so we've had a great conversation today about why we should invest in real estate. And what's so cool is what we want to encourage everyone right now, the viewers, to leave in the comments. Was there something we missed? Was there other ways that you can invest in real estate or other reasons that maybe we have missed? And today, we just also want to shout out the sponsor. So today's sponsor is Flip Savvy. Flip Savvy is a course that helps you build your team, that helps you learn how to flip a home from beginning to the end. It's a proven methodology that helps you build the correct energy to engage the right talent and to own the right results. And you can go to flipsavvycourse.com right now. That's flipsavvycourse.com right now.
FLIPSAVVY. For those of you that aren't 100% sure how to spell savvy.
I'm Milton Ali.
And I'm Hampton Scurlock.
And we'll see you on the flip side at the Investor Tribe. Take care.
The Investor Tribe podcast is a production of the Investor Tribe. To learn more, visit invtribe.com.